Okay, so this is what I call a perfect parachute. Here's a few tricks I learned tying about 300 dozen of these a year. The first thing is you want to tie the tail on a bare hook. You can't have any thread there. Hey, Jerry. So here I'm going to take 4 microfibets. So I'll have 2 on each side. Like that. You want to tie those on so they're about the length of the shank, the tail. So once again on bare hook, and the reason you want it on a bare hook is you want all 4 fibers to sit side by side on top of the shank. That way it's easier to get them to fork. So those are right on top. And to keep on top, you put it about a 45 angle like that, and you wrap down. And that keeps them right on the top of the shank.
Hey!
Now here's the trick. When you get to the end, take 1 wrap backwards, and that locks in the thread. Because when you go underneath, it loosens the thread, and without locking it going back, it'll get loose. Then go underneath, and then 1 wrap back to lock it in. And see how that immediately goes like that? Now at this point, you just take the thread between. And so there's a perfect forked parachute without putting a dubbing ball down there, none of that. But see how that's it works every time. Okay, then I'll tie that off. Now I'm going to tie the wing on. Get 3 wraps in front, 3 wraps in back, and then I'll wrap the thread up the post to make it rigid to tie the parachute hackle on. See how I'm grabbing and letting go of the wing, and then go all the way down. Now to make it even more rigid, I'll take the hackle and tie it on in front of the post, then bring the thread behind the post, and then I'll wrap the stem up the post, and that stem will make the post even a little bit more rigid. And then I'll wrap it, then I'll wrap it back down. Now I'm ready to do the dubbing, and I'll dub the whole body once. So here I'll take my dubbing and make kind of a long, oblong shape. And this is critical here. Now, the key to dubbing is wet your finger. So with dubbing, you want to get that tip started first, and then you just slowly work down. And that way it's a lot easier. Then you can go back.
That's good, me too.
Okay, then here you want to get close to the tail, but not quite touch the tail. And wrap that forward.
No, what are you moving around? That's pretty good. It's like brand new, huh?
And wrap past the eye, or past the wing post. And build it up just a little bit there. That.
Okay, might start to straight down there. So, goodness.
And then wrap it around the post. You want to have the thread towards you around the post. Okay, then to wrap the hackle should be really easy because that's really stiff now.
So you do clockwise.
Wrap the thread. Yeah, always over the top. Yeah, always clockwise. Yep. So here you can see that's stiff, and I don't overlap the hackle. It's side by side, about 5 or 6 wraps. And I only do 5 or 6 because it only floats on the bottom 2 wraps of hackle. Okay, here's the trick here. I'm going to tie it off on the post. So I bring the hackle down, 2 wraps underneath the hackle, and I bring it up. Wasn't supposed to break there. But you bring it up and wrap around, and then you're done. Now bring everything back out of the way, and you tie it off behind the eye right there. So that's the trick.
Thank you.
Take stuff? What do you mean? And then just out of the way, or pull everything out of the way and like that. Now, hold the wing up and stroke the hackle down to get it, all horizontal. Now I always cut at an angle. A fly wing is never, mayfly is never flat. It's at an angle, so I'm gonna just a slight angle down, like that.
Somebody's got to.
And one's out of the way there. But that is what I call a perfect parachute. You can keep that one. You see how easy that was? You should be able to do a dozen an hour.
Well, I like the tie. You need the
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this woolly bugger thing. Okay, so I'm gonna get 4
Never had a
microfibets.
like years so. I'd settle down, take it in and see if I can. So sell these myself. Got that. Took an old loft and these.
About the length of the shank
Like these are place down.
on a bare hook. Hold it at an angle upwards and wrap down towards the bend. That keeps
Not after terrible.
all 4 microfibets side by side
White band.
and on top of the shank. Then one wrap backwards over the top of the thread. Then one wrap underneath to splay them out. One wrap back to lock it in. Then you can take a wrap between, and there's your perfect fork tail.
It's hard to be inspired. Don't know.
And like I say, you should be able to do a dozen of these an hour
My door on the outside seat.
while watching the news.
Or like maybe Clark making order 3 corners.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Okay, the post, once again, you tie it on horizontal.
This ratings. Just
Yeah. She puts
3 in front, 3 in back,
Yeah, well, that's a good
wrap it
one.
around.
My wife, she's becoming a pretty good fighter. By force, like I said. She's
Wrap it down.
So,
And then once again, tie that off, or tie it on in front of the post, bring it to the back of the post,
it's a great.
and then wrap around the post, keeping the shiny side of the hackle up.
Yeah, I tell everyone I'm semi-retired.
Now you're ready to duck the body. We'll do 2 flies here, and then you can pick the best of the 2. Okay, then start your dubbing at the top, work it down.
Good afternoon, everyone.
There he goes again.
Here right now, conference room number 3, Todd Land is presenting on Fishing the Henry's Forum. That's conference room number 3, Todd Land Fishing the Henry's Forum. In about 10 minutes, we'll start the youth cast.
Wrap it around the post.
We want to meet out in the front lobby for that. So anybody who's interested in
5 or 6 wraps here.
in about 10 minutes in the front lobby.
Yeah. Always wrap the same direction. You don't want to overlap at all. Okay, then with the hackle down, you tie off underneath, and then you bring the hackle up and one wrap underneath. And what that does,
Oh, you already tied it on.
yeah, Hunter here, he's a college kid,
I think he takes pity out on me.
I do. We all do.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
It's crazy.
we'll finish that.
She gets
Now I do more half hitches than most people just because
we give a lot of time, like I said.
it's insurance. Okay, then here, trim your hackle. Now, good practice is before you set that hackle down, you want to trim it for the next fly, just to save you time. And then here, hold that up, stroke it down, cut it at a slight angle, and there's a Perfect parachute with a perfect fork tail every time. Perfect. You did it.
Don't throw the person with the flat.
Yeah. Now, yeah, won't catch any fish, but it's a good looking fly.